G'day everyone, welcome back. Today I'm going to be building a fork brace. I've done a lot of reading and I've read a couple of articles from the 70s, and they all say that these bikes respond well to having the front forks braced. The reasons behind this, from what I can tell, is that they've only got 34mm forks, which is nowhere near as rigid as the forks on today's bikes, and they give a bit of flex. So bracing them up should hopefully stiffen up the handling a little bit. It's also going to provide me with a way to mount the front fender, which I shortened in the last video. So the way I'm going to do it is I've got this flat bar here and I'm going to make two brackets out of that. They're going to go on the inside of the forks in the same place as the original mounts for the front fender went. Then off those I'm going to have two U-shaped pieces of this 25mm tube. They're going to come off those, up over the front fender and back down, one in front of the forks and one behind. Then in between those I'll weld another piece of the flat bar and the fender will mount up under the underside of that. Alright, so I'm going to try something new now. Well, it's new to me anyway, and that is bending the tube without the use of a bender. I've watched a few YouTube videos on it, and the way that I think I'll be most successful is to fill the tube with sand and bend it around a jig. The jig that I'll be using is this 1.5 kilo weight, which has a radius of 65mm, which works out well because that's the exact radius that I need. I'm going to mount it to this board like this. Place the stopper over one side, put the tube in between the stopper and the weight, and then bend it around the weight. I'll film the whole process, so if I stuff it up, which I most likely will, you'll get to see it. So look forward to that. Okay, so I've packed the tube as solidly as I can with sand, and I've capped the ends with tape. Hopefully that's enough. If it doesn't work, I'll try welding a cap on next time, but I can't see the sand moving around in there that much. But it's all set up in the jig now, so let's give it a go. So far so good. And it's kinked. Shit. Oh, let's try something else. Okay, so the first attempt was less than successful. What I think was happening was it was just pulling the tube through the jig after I got the first bit of a bend done. So what I've done now is I've clamped the other end in the hopes that it'll kind of, I don't know, hold it while I get the rest of the bend done. Hopefully 3 clamps will do it. Don't do it. Now I'm going to have to take one of the clamps off. Damn it. Hopefully I've got enough of a bend done that this will work. Not terrible. It's not 100% symmetrical. We'll see how we go on the next attempt. Alright, so that worked a lot better. You can see here I've got a full bend. There's a bit of a kink over here, but I think that's just because I tried to reuse the same piece after straightening it out a little bit. We'll see how it goes when I use a new clean piece. Hopefully I get a nice even radius. We'll see. Okay, so I've come up with a new plan, or developed the plan a little bit anyway. Rather than clamping it, because it's less than ideal and it can slip, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a bit of sand out of the end of this one, hammer it over into a hook so it hooks around the end of the jig, and that should hold it a bit more firmly and stop it from pulling through and kinking. We'll see how it goes. Okay, take 3. Oh, that worked a treat. Perfect. Alright, so I've bent up the second one, and here's the 2 side by side. Pretty happy with that. They didn't crush, they didn't kink. Not bad for my 3rd try. Alright, so here's the finished fork brace. Well, not finished, but at least all welded up. I was just cleaning it up and taking the last of the spatter off of the flap disc when my angle grinder decided to pack it in. I must have had a damaged cord because it shorted and melted itself in half. So now I need to try and fix this or get a new angle grinder. That sucks. Okay, so there's the fork brace all mounted up. I'm pretty happy with it. I think it looks pretty cool. It's quite solid, so it should sharpen up the handling quite a bit. Obviously it's not painted or anything yet, but as I've said previously, I'm just going to finish all of the fabrication first, and I'm going to leave all the cosmetic stuff till the end of the project when I can do it all at once. So where I'm going to go from here is I'm going to tear the bike completely apart, and I'm going to start cutting tabs off the frame and fabricating an electrics tray.